Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo and welcome to my scrapbook table. This layout is for day 30 of Scraptember, and there will be a link in the description box below where you can see other layouts that go along with this month-long hop. I am using a collection called Celebrate from Simple Stories. I have a whole bunch of photos for this event, so this is just the first of a few layouts. I have cardstock stickers, foam stickers, and die cuts from this Celebrate collection. I do not have any of the papers or cardstock though. So when I pulled out these embellishments, I went through my stash and I pulled cardstock and patterns that I felt went with this theme, the color scheme, and I think it created a pretty cohesive collection here that I can create from. Excuse me. And so I decide to go with this blue. I'll explain why there's a hole there in a moment. I am using just a piece of cardboard and some texture paste. I didn't bring my little spatula that I usually use for some reason, but this cardboard worked just fine. And I'm adding texture. Texture was the prompt for day 30 of Scraptember. So I pulled one of my favorite stencils. I love this stencil. I use it a lot. I should probably maybe try to find a new favorite stencil because I do use it a lot. I need a little variety maybe. And you'll see in a moment that I added a little bit more on the top left and bottom right. And I am glad to know that using a piece of cardboard works just fine, because that could solve a problem someday. So there we go. So the hole happened because I needed a small piece of the blue to stamp what I thought was going to be the title of this, which was So Many Reasons to Be Happy. I end up not using it on this layout. I have a feeling it will show up on one of the subsequent layouts. And it won't matter because I am covering it with this piece of paper from Stampin' Up. I don't know the dimensions of this, it's just what was in my stash, and so I just used it as is. And that's going to cover up the hole and the practice stamping. And there we go. I did ink the edges with VersaFine Clair Morning Mist ink. And later in the video you'll see that I also ink the edges of the blue. So I have this happy day that's going to be the title of this page. This is kind of the introduction for this series of layouts. I do trim them down to be a little bit smaller. So the story behind this layout is that this happened in February of 2023, and my brother-in-law was turning 80 and his youngest son was turning 40. So the youngest son's wife decided to throw them a combined birthday party, and she invited the entire extended family, thinking, oh, hardly anybody will come because it's just so far. They live in Canton, Georgia. Well, all but one of us was able to make that trip. We came from Pennsylvania, Ohio, Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida. So it was quite the birthday bash, and it was crazy and wild, but it was fun, and I'm so glad that we did that. It was kind of a momentous occasion. It's not often that we are all together. So I am choosing which little die cut pieces that I want to add. That pink just seems too pink. Even though there's pink in the title and in some of the cupcake things, the whole pink circle pinwheel thing was just too much. So I split this blue one in half and tucked it in two different places, and I like what that added here. The little postcard invitation that you see in the top right corner, For now it's just laying there, but that is where I end up putting it. I ink the edges with black, and I also put some journaling in there. I put the date and the location because I thought that worked well on that little invitation type envelope. It's not really a grid, but I kind of visually created some grid spaces and filled in the squares or rectangles with some embellishments. And I like how the Let's Celebrate joined the photo of my brother-in-law and went across under the photo of the cake. I end up moving that cake die cut there. It does not stay. I just was picking up all the tiny little stars that were part of this collection to get them back in the little bag. I decided I will use those on a different page. There's not a ton of them, so I didn't have enough to really have them run through the entire series of layouts, so I'll just save them for a different one. Excuse me. And now I decide what's gonna go where. I add a cake and a cupcake here at the bottom. The gift is going there and the camera above it. I love embellishing with cameras. I was excited to see one in this packet. I've had these embellishments for probably 1.5 years now. I bought them at Tuesday morning before my location went out of business, and that's over 1 year now. So I've had them, and I think what had me not using them was that I didn't have papers to go with them, but I'm happy now that I've found papers in my stash that will work well and allow me to do this entire series of layouts using these same embellishments. I don't often use the same collection for several pages in a row, but I decided I'm going to try that with this one. So here you see I've inked the blue edges. I add just a little bit of journaling because on the next page I will tell the whole story. So all I did at the bottom there was tell about what the event was and a little bit of journaling there. So thank you for joining me today. Here are the close-ups. I'm so happy you stopped by my channel. I hope you get to create something in your crafty space soon. Have a great day, and thanks again. Bye.